Richard in Chicago. Hey, Richard, you're a Republican and a union rep?
I am a union person, 100%. Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that if you approach this thing differently than unionism has been approached mostly in my life, and that you approach it in the way of looking at it as job insurance rather than the Democratic Party's activist wing. Right. I mean, I think there's no negative side. There's no negative side to unionism. None. When you debate somebody about it, there's nothing negative other than dues. And then, of course, the age-old canard of, well, those rich union bosses don't do anything. Well, you can do something to a union that doesn't do anything for you. You can actually get rid of them and get another union.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's nothing negative, but it's a reach across the aisle.
And you're right, Richard. It is union insurance. I worked at a radio station that was unionized, and with AFTRA was the union. They were unionized, and there were either 8 or 10 people in the newsroom, and there were an additional 20 or 35 people somewhere in that neighborhood. This was an 8-station cluster, as I recall, maybe 6 stations. And we had a vote whether to decertify the union, and this station had the biggest station in the cluster was the giant conservative station. They produced local programming. They also carried Limbaugh. And so the vote went to decertify the union. So we got rid of the union, and within a year, the newsroom was down to one guy, and half the DJs and half the other people who were in the union prior to that point were laid off.
Well, as wonderful as the ACA is, and it is wonderful, and when it goes into effect in 2016, they will be able to rate people per their age when it comes to insurance rates.
Right.
So companies that employ people who are 25 to 30, well, their insurance rates are going to be nothing. People that employ anybody who's 45 on up, well, guess what? So, I mean, unions protect people in every way, shape, and form when it comes to your job. I mean, it's something that I try to spread. We've unionized a right-to-work company in Indiana. I mean, it's something very successful, but it's going to take the modern world. You have to speak in modern terms because everybody's looking at their cell phone. Everybody's looking at their smartphone like, what is in this for me?
Right.
Well, when you wake them up to the fact that cell phone is going to get repossessed when you can't pay your rent, when you can't pay your bills.
I think your meme, Richard, of unions as job insurance is brilliant. Thank you very much. Well, and as a Republican, how can you be a Republican when you have this understanding of unionization when the Republican Party is utterly committed to the destruction of unionization in the United States?
Well, obviously not, because I'm a Republican trying to fight against that. If I was a Democrat trying to fight against it, I would just be a Democrat fighting for the Democratic Party. I'm trying to convince individual people, just like grassroots are supposed to. It's like, look at yourself and look at the benefits of your life, your children, your home, and then you look at the person sitting next to you. If they mess with this person, guess who they're coming for next?
Right. Well, good on you, Richard. Good luck, and we need more Republicans like you. My dad was a pro-union Republican, and we need rational people in the Republican Party. Thank you, Richard, for the call, and thanks for listening to WCPT.